I'll start out because many are called to this industry, but the chosen ones are few. And it's not by happen chance that you particular ones are here today. This meeting is for those who have an ear to hear. So I'll start with that. And I'll go into why I decided to have this particular seminar. Over the years, we've all heard the different complaints clients may have. By the way, your clients are people we service and they pay us for those services. I'll come back to that because that's a critical point. Before I opened my business, there were other salons that my clients would discuss with me. They wouldn't do names, but they would just tell me all of the things that they disliked about their previous visits. Here are some of the things they said. I don't understand why I have to spend anywhere from 5 to 8 hours in the salon just to get a shampoo style. I don't like the fact that she leaves the salon and leaves me under the dryer, not just for my scheduled dryer time, but I have to sit an hour after I'm drying for them to come back. I don't like the fact that I have to wait for an hour after my scheduled appointment time before she even starts on me. I don't like the fact that her girlfriend can just walk in after me and get in the chair before me. I don't like the fact that she shampoos me and lets me sit for an hour with the wet head before she places me under the dryer. And then I've also heard things like it was just too much drama. Mind you, this was 10 years ago, and I'm still hearing the same things now. So there is a need for our salons to come up. After all, our clients are a very important aspect of our business. This was over 10 years ago, and it's still being repeated. So I know that there, is definitely a problem in our particular industry. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And so I wonder why we're not captivating more of that income. And I wrote down a few things that I thought were reasons why, we weren't excelling to the levels that some of our counterparts are excelling to. By the way, I also used the things that I had written down over the 10 years before I opened my place. I used that to comprise my handbook and policy and procedure manual. I just use those complaints and turn them into rules. I have a policy here for my staff. They have to arrive at least 15 minutes prior to their scheduled appointment time and be ready to work. If the appointment's at 1, she needs to be sitting in your chair at 1, so that people can be serviced and on time. And so, by the way, like I said, I took those same things and made them into my handbook and policy and procedure manual. So that's something that you all could do as well. The first thing I think that's really important in any business is your vision. It's important to have one. Remember that you have one. Your vision will set the standards for your place. It'll also help you with your handbook and your policy and procedure manual. It'll give you purpose. And the standards, I'm going to talk about how standards can be set. When I first met one of my really close girlfriends, she had a habit of addressing her friends with the B word. And so maybe the second time she did this, I said, I'm just not used to addressing my friends with that name. And she said, oh, I didn't mean any harm. And I said, yeah, but I'm not comfortable with it. So early on, I set a standard for our relationship. We're the best of friends now, and she understands me. And that's the same thing you'll need to do with your staff, your clients. You are the person that sets the standards for them. Let's see. Your standards for your business should coincide with who you are and who you plan to become. Because usually your vision is a lot further out than where you actually are. You can't let that falter when you're doing business. I've compromised. I've been here 7 years now, and I've compromised in those areas at times. But I've learned now that the way I started out is the way I'm going to hold out. And my clients are a resource, and so is my staff. What I found is different people would come in and want to change the way we did things here. And because I wasn't comfortable with where my source was, I would allow them to do things that I really didn't like. It didn't coincide with the vision. And when they left, they also left the stain on the business. And so it's so important that you just stay really, really focused on your vision and revisit it from time to time. How many of you know that 5 strong people is a lot better than 20 weak? You can work miracles if you have 5 strong people, but with 20 weak, it just brings the whole company down, because that's what we have. We don't have just salons. They are businesses. They are companies. And if we start speaking in that manner, I think we'll respect the place that we have a little more. Your vision is one of the tools you can use to hold yourself accountable, because we all get slack as owners. Unfortunately, as salon owners or business owners, we don't have anybody to really tell us, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. And so it's easy to get slack. It's important that you have mentors or girlfriends that you share your vision with, because they may not even realize it, but they'll check you on your vision just in your conversation. They may ask you things like, oh, did you do so and so and so? And in your mind, it'll click and you'll go back to that particular plan. So it's important to have positive people, role models, and mentors that you can talk to on a regular basis about your business. A lot of times as owners, we just feel we just don't have to, because it's our place. But we do have to. We're serving the community, and we want to be billionaires in this industry. We don't want just the smallest portion that's been given to the mediocre salons that we see now. One of the ways that my girlfriend and I hold one another accountable, we decided to write down a list of things that we could get done in the next 90 days. And we decided to call one another every night at 9 o'clock to share with each other what we had done on our list. That holds you accountable. I'm a little bit competitive, passive competitive, so, I wanted to make sure I had my stuff in order when I talk, with my girlfriend. So that's another way that you can do something to have someone else hold you accountable for the things that you're planning on doing. Your vision should consist of not only short-term thoughts or desires for your business, but also the desires you have that are not in your immediate reach. This will help you in areas so you don't get comfortable or complacent. You get to a place where things are working but not flowing. It's a difference in it working and not flowing. You should have a journal that you keep and write down all your thoughts. Write your vision and make it plain. This tool will be valuable for the surprise investor that is waiting for you to be able to clearly explain what you plan on doing with the money they plan on investing in your company. So, and there are people out there who are looking for people or just unction to bless people, but they still want to know that they're spending their money wisely. If someone came up to you today, could you, and said, you own a salon, do you have plans, for growth? Could you show them that on paper so that they feel it's worth investing in your business? Because we're always in expectation, but are we prepared? Your small goals. You can break your goals down into year-long intervals and then break those down into 90-day intervals. And I actually learned that from I'd say conference that I went to, and it has been outstanding for my life and my business at this time. There were so many things that I needed to do, and I'm a starter, and I do finish things, but starting is my strong point, which is the same for a lot of stylists. We're very creative. We have tons of ideas, and we'll start a project and never fall through with it. And I find that with year-long goals, we tend to take for granted that we have a year left. We have 8 more months. But with the 90-day intervals, it was like a light bulb just went off in my head when I heard this, because it's not a long frame of time, but it's long enough that you don't have to do it right then, but you can work on it, So I would just write a list of everything I thought I could get done in 90 days. I revisited my list. My 90-day session for now is up February the 26th, and out of 22 things, I've done 15. And some of those things have been on my list for 2 to 3 years. So I just think if we break down some of these tasks we have, because most of us are mothers, business owners, wives, and not only do we own the business, but we also work in the business. That's a lot of hats to wear. So sometimes you have to break the things down that you have to do into smaller intervals. So it's important to write it down. When I say write the vision, make it plain, it could be what you have to do for today. Not just 5 years down the road. Write a list. Nobody's brain functions on a level where we can remember all of that stuff, and do it with a spirit of excellence. There's no way. Some of your goals should be merely for training. I know a lot of us have been in the industry for quite some time. I've been styling for 17, maybe 18 years now. And you can get a little complacent with that. You know, one of the things I try to do is I give out my business card. If I go out to eat and I leave a tip, I leave my card. If I go to the drive-thru, I give them my money, I give them my card. You know, be in the habit of passing out 5 business cards a day. I have clients who will call me and say, oh, I saw you a year ago, and I'm on the other end like, a year? But it works, you know, and if you have a continuous cycle of just hand-to-hand marketing, when there are slower times, and there are slower times now, I don't care how busy you are, there are days when I do 15, 16 heads a day, but I have seen a difference. But what keeps me balanced is because I have a cycle of cards and referrals already out there. You know, if you're not doing any type of marketing, especially the hands-on, it's so easy. You know, you're giving your money, give them a card. So those are some things that you can do to keep a continuous flow in this economy of people coming into your business. Exposure. You should shoot for as much positive exposure as possible. One of the ways that people are using technology to expose themselves now is Facebook. I think it is awesome. It's free. You know, there's no way you can reach that number of people or connect with that number of people free. There's no way. But take in mind that your Facebook page should be separated. You should have a business page and a personal page. And even on your personal page, you might want to kind of limit some of the things, you know, that you actually say on the page, because you could be, you could be eliminating a possible client that would want to visit you by something you said. You know, if you're stressed out, don't say that every day on Facebook. I mean, really, I just don't want to come to an atmosphere where I feel the owner is stressed out, because, you know, whatever the head, it just follows through the place. It just leaves, it's a distraction to someone else who may want to come to your business. And another way of advertising is your cell phone. Your message on your cell phone should tell what the name of your business is, if you use that by means of, you know, speaking to your customers. Say, for instance, you have to have a surgery done, and someone refers you to this supposed fabulous doctor. You call his office, and T.E.A.M on the voicemail. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter what social status you're from, you're probably not going to want him cutting on you. So Lil' Kim and T.I., you know, that's just not the best thing, in my opinion, for your cell phone. I'd rather let the little lady on the phone, you've reached 252-258, you know, and call it a day. Because you can monopolize the industry when you don't have a lot going on, because you tend to stereotype the type of people that you want to see, which leads into clients. Probably about maybe 12, 14 years ago, I worked for a company called In-Flight Hair Salon, and most of you may know Carolyn Marshall. She is now my mentor, and we don't talk as often as I would like to, because she didn't always answer my calls as much as I call her, but she has been a great asset to me before I even knew it. One of the things she said when I was working with her was, your clientele is a reflection of who you are. And so I said, you know, I heard it because I had only been doing hair 2 years. You know, you think you know everything. You can do hair, and anybody's done what they're talking about. I mean, you know, that's just kind of the attitude we have when we first get out of school. But 2 years down the road, I could hear this little voice in my head that said, your clientele is a reflection of who you are. So I started to evaluate or look at my customers. I wasn't too happy about who I was. I mean, because at that time I was partying and clubbing, and that's where I was passing my business card out. My clientele wasn't as stable as it needed to be, because if their friend got in trouble with the law, they wasn't paying for their hair no more. So I said, okay, we have to switch this thing up a little bit. I realized I'm articulate, and you know, I just changed my conversation. Now, I don't have a certain social status or type of person that I service. I service everybody. But what you monopolize is what sets your atmosphere. You know, you set the tone for your space, and anyone who's coming in, they'll adhere to it. But it's hard to set that space when there's a lot of distraction. So I began to just talk about things that I knew, things my parents had told me. I went back to my foundation. I changed my conversation, and I began to gravitate people towards me that fit my vision. And that's why I say you have to go back to your vision often, because it'll keep you in check. You know, it'll let you know, okay, this isn't going to take you where you're planning on going, not where you are right here. So it's very important that you continue to check your vision, reevaluate your clientele. Look at your clientele. I'm not looking at social status. I'm looking at heart or morally, things that you want in your business, because we're not shunning anybody, but it will help you to see where you are. I realized that my clients were not my source. They were my resource. And so being as though they were my resource, I began to talk about different things with them. I realized that I don't have, and I did this reflection maybe a week or two ago, because this has put me in check too. All the things, this that I wrote down is things that I've known and I've used, but it's, making me step my A game up again. But one of the things I did was I reflected my clientele again. I realized I had deans of colleges, I have doctors, I have district attorneys' wives, I have assistant principals of local schools. I have cake bakers, caterers, and ministers, to say the least. So I realized that there was not a need that I would have that couldn't be fulfilled through my clients. But you don't know that if you're on your cell phone talking to Booker. Because you can't find that out. You don't have that intimate time to share with the client, to get to know them. And a lot of times people are very willing to tell you what they do. We always ready to tell somebody what we do, but if you're not open, they're not going to share that with you. And a lot of times your clients may be the answer to your next move, which goes into who you're next to. What type of company are you keeping? Are you the smartest person in your group? If you are, you can't go any further. You have to get around people who know more, have the things that you want, and just enjoy life. These people, if you want to be wealthy, you need to be around wealthy people. Your girlfriend, if she doesn't have any more than you do, she can't lead you, guide you. I use the example, if you and all of your girlfriends decide to go to the beach and none of you can swim, but you're just going to wade your feet in the water a little bit, wave, come out, pull all of you all in, your chances of survival are slim. But if at least one of your girlfriends can swim, you have an opportunity for her to pull you back in and then maybe teach you. So it's the same with business or wealth or something that you want in life. It's so important that you're around someone who can help take you to that next level. And that goes back to your connections. Today's clients are busy. They don't like to sit all day. They don't want to sit all day. They'll do it for a while until they hear about places like Abstract, I'm just saying, where they can come in, be, seen within the first 15 minutes in a great atmosphere. This is what the new client is looking for. The busy, y'all busy too. We really don't even have time to sit down in our girlfriend's chair and get our hair done. So the clients, that's not what they're looking for. And if you expect to go to the next level, it has to be done with the spirit of excellence, and timing is one of them. One of the things I say when people come in and fill out an application, well, two things. I say my pet peeves are gossiping and not being on time. Those are two things I will fire them for. It's just others, they can turn flips down the hallway as long as they straight when the clients come in, I'm okay. But if the gossiping and timing, I can't. It just doesn't work for me. And we're all human. We make mistakes, but you can tell if this is someone's way or their personality. But it affects your business, whether you're renting booths or commission. There's an atmosphere that you set, and so a lot of things that may be going wrong in your business, and I say this personally, they start from the top. We're responsible. If it's not going the way you feel it should be going, it's probably something we're not doing. Whether it's redirecting the people that are working with us. Your vision will also help you with staff, staff meetings. And your staff meetings shouldn't be a time where you say, okay, Tia, you didn't do the towels. You didn't sweep. It shouldn't be for grievances. Your staff meetings should only be to talk about things that are going to move you to the next level. If you have staff meetings and there are grievances around the same time, have a one-on-one with the person. Nobody wants to be embarrassed, because it elevates the tension in the room. And the next thing, it breaks the morale for your staff. Nobody wants to come to staff meetings if all you're doing is telling them what they haven't done right. So you save that for one-on-one time where people are not as hurt, by the things. But you do need to say what's going on that needs to be changed. You're a steward over your place, and that's your responsibility, because it's your vision, and you're just getting staff as a resource to make the vision go forward. Another thing that falls in line with that are interview questions. If you're hiring somebody, do you just talk off the top of your head, or do you have a standard list of questions that you ask everybody so you don't forget anything? I have a list of questions. They don't change because I've sat down and devised what I feel I need to know from this person that may not be answered just by my little notes I wrote in the car right before the interview. Because then you hire someone and you're like, no, I didn't see that. But you have an opportunity to be able to discern those things if you have written it down and made it plain. Everything basically is right. It connects with your vision. Goes right back to your vision. See if I forgot anything of importance. We talked about Facebook, a website. I think a website in this age that we're in is key if you plan on going to the next level. And if you only just kind of want to stay mediocre, then you can just do the norm. But excellent people do excellent things, and they take a step above what other people are doing. So I think a website is great exposure. Keeping up with the latest techniques, front lace is one of the methods. Keratin. I've been offering the keratin treatment for 2 to 3 years now, and it's just getting around to people. I was one of only 3 salons in the Greenville area, and they were our counterparts who were online who offered that service. It's a $200 to $300 service. I can do 6 of them a week and make more money than somebody doing 50 heads. So we have to look for ways to work smarter, and not harder. And some of it is just staying on top of what's going on in your industry. And it's kind of easy to get real comfortable because, most of us in here have been doing it at least over 10 years. And so you get a comfort zone and you're kind of used to having clients or little slow times, but we really don't want any slow times. I don't. I would like for my business to just flow fluidly all the time. I also wanted to share some things that I thought were distractions, in our business. Our personal life, not being able to separate things that are going on at home because we all have stuff. But once we come in the door, it has to stay outside of the door. It can't be a distraction for your business because it rolls over. You're frustrated. There's some things you wanted to do, but you don't do it because you don't feel like it. You have to get over that when you walk in the door. So I think that's really a big distraction in a lot of our businesses is our personal life. Not just things we may have going on at home, but friends. People we allow to come in the salon as if it's a hangout place. It's not. It's a business, period. At the end of the day, and what happens is people begin to respect you. One of the reasons I feel like clients come to us late is because we don't respect the industry we're in. And I say that because they come to us late because they figure they just gotta wait anyway. Maybe they're at the mall and they're like, she ain't gonna be ready for me for about an hour anyway. And it's a domino effect to you. I charge. Over 15 minutes reschedule. If I see that I am behind because I'm not perfect, there are times where I'm behind. That you're behind an hour before the client. You already know it. You're already in the flow. You see that you're behind. Call them. Let them know. And I've done that. I'm running 15, 20 minutes behind. It may allow them time to run another errand. It's just respect. And they begin to respect you. My clients will call if they're going to be 2 minutes late. That's because I have given them the ultimate respect as far as their time was concerned. And they, it reciprocates. It's a seed that I've sown. And that's what's happened. It's been reverberated, in my business. Confirmation calls. 48 hours prior to your client's appointment, call them. Remind them. A lot of times they'll say, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to make it. But now you have an opportunity to fill that space. I have a waiting list. Okay, let me call and see if she wants to get in. Because we're paid by time. Whatever you charge for your shampoo style, when my assistant is working, I take 5 clients back to back with no break every 30 minutes. If my assistant is not here, I take 3 clients back to back, and then I take a space, to be able to work the first person. So the way we schedule, all of these things, affect our time, affect our clients, and affect our business. I'll just run over the few things that I've said to you in case anybody missed anything. We talked about vision, how important it is to keep a journal with all your ideas, have goals in mind, something to look forward to, breaking them down into short-term obtainable goals, 90 day, write a list of everything you can get done in 90 days. Let me know how it works. Stay connected to your vision, staff, and your clients. Write down, okay, this goes back to writing down what you accomplish in your life in 90 days. Confirmation calls, set quotas. I don't know if any of you have quotas, but I have a quota every day that I set for myself. I need to make this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday, this on Thursday, this on Friday. That way, if I'm not making it, I see where I'm at. If I need to take more clients, if I don't need to, I'm going home at my scheduled time. I do have a scheduled time. Now I take my last guest at 2:30 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Come in at 6 on Saturdays. I take my last client at 11. I do about 10 people and I'm finished by 1. 10 is my quota for Saturdays. I alternate my Thursdays and Fridays. I take a client at 4 o'clock on Thursday one week and 6 on that Friday, and then the next week I flip-flop it. So I'm really only working late one day out of the week now. And my goal is to come from behind the chair, which that should be, most of our goals. And that will only come from having a plan for your business, training your staff so that they can do the things that you were doing and your clients feel comfortable. And a great way to start that is with an assistant. And I know that's an extra expense, but you'll see that you'll be able to take 2 or 3 more people and it roll more smoothly if you have an assistant. And then hopefully you'll get one that's in beauty school. And then when they finish, they're trained perfect. You need to take some days off. Your clients start getting comfortable and you can roll them over into your work area and take some time off. Anybody have any questions?
Today's seminar was actually wonderful. Tanya was saying that sometimes you get complacent. You get, in a lackadaisical state where you just feel like I've been here long enough. I know everything. I don't need inspiration or encouragement. Today was uplifting. It was very informative. We had a lot of information, a lot of packages, a lot of things that you talk about mentally in your mind. It makes a difference when you have a physical concept of everything. It makes a big deal, and that's what I enjoyed about it. We have something physical, something tangible that we can actually go back and reference to later on.
It was very helpful. We found that there were a lot of things that we, needed to know concerning our business, and some areas that we wanted to tap more into that she touched on today, and a lot of resources out here that we are very happy to find out about.
And I've been blessed to be around such creative people, and I just feel that they have the ability to go a lot further than where we are now in our careers. And so it's a heartfelt thing for me.